Well, things like cell phones and social media were designed to connect us, but it seems they are disconnecting us from the very people we are physically with.
Absolutely. 3 out of 5 parents admit to spending more time on their electronic devices than with their own kids. That's according to a survey conducted by One Poll. Alexa Lorenzo puts your family first to explain the impacts.
Smartphones, social media, screens, they can connect you to things on the other side of the planet. But do they disconnect you from the person right next to you?
There are times that my kids are on devices or I'm on the phone and I am feeling like, oh, should I be teaching them something?
These items have become so much of a distraction that it's even affecting kids' development. Researchers at the University of California, Santa Barbara found that when parents are on their smartphones in front of their kids, it can negatively affect their child's emotional intelligence. And research from Temple University found cell phone interruptions can affect a toddler's language skills.
Child doesn't learn the word when it's interrupted and does learn the word when you have a conversation.
So how can you disconnect to connect? Ban phones and the TV from the dinner table. Plan activities that don't require screens, like hiking or biking. Create phone-free zones around your home and avoid picking up your phone during playtime with your kids. Helping you build stronger relationships with the ones around you. Alexa Lorenzo, WGEM News.